all set up and ready to go. So, last time we had unlocked all sorts of fancy new technology, and now we need to sort of go back and make sure that all the stuff that is like either broken or on the verge of breaking is fixed. So, what we need to do is we need to go around to each of the factories, all of them, and figure out, first of all, are they working at full capacity? And if they aren't, then we need to fix that. And secondly, we need to figure out how many resources they use, because I am not confident that we have enough raw materials going into the system at the present moment. But I'm not tracking it, so I need to start tracking it so I can figure out. So, let's get started with that then. Trains look like they're going fine, probably. It's hard to say for sure. Alright, so we're going to start with this big old thing right here. So this is the heavy modular frames, just because it's basically the closest. Alright, so we go up here, and we just have to find the output. Oh, so this is the encased industrial beams half, and I see a yellow. I see a yellow over here. So what is your problem? Your problem is not enough steel pipes. Alright, so why is there not enough steel pipes? It looks like it's not a belt capacity issue, looks like it is an output problem. So let's see, the steel pipes come from here, and not enough steel ingots. Alright, so then we just trace this back. You don't have enough coal. Okay, so is the reason there's not enough coal because it's not getting through the belts fast enough, or is it because there just simply isn't enough coal to be had? It's because there simply isn't enough coal to be had. Oh, I bet I know what's happening. So, the coal train has to leave every so often to restock, right? But, actually, I should check this first. How much coal is this? Because if it's more than 480 per belt, then that's going to be the problem. So this one is full, this one isn't. So if we follow this belt around, that's going to be this line of machines here. And that's going to be 120 per belt, so 120, 240, 360, and 480. Yeah, so that's the problem. The problem is the coal can only come in on this belt at a speed of 480 a minute, but the train sometimes leaves to refuel, and when it does that, there's no belt coming through. There's no coal coming through on this belt. And as a result, this box is useless, because it's only getting filled exactly as fast as it's being empty at all times. So, fortunately, we can fix that easily now. All we have to do is that. So now this should be pulling coal at 780 maximum instead of 480. So that should fill this belt. That should fill this box. And now, when the trains leave, this box will have stuff in it, and that stuff will keep this belt running. And that should be that fixed. Now, I assume that same problem is going to also exist over on the other side. Oh yeah, look at that. One of these is already stopped. So actually, we need to upgrade all of these internal belts here. Get you as well. Alright, so hopefully that fixes it. And if it doesn't fix it, hopefully it at least gets close enough, right? Like, we just need this box to fill up with stuff to keep that busy while the train does its trip. And that should resolve that issue. Alright, so with that done, then I guess probably encased industrial beams are going to be a limiting factor for the heavy modular frames as well because of that issue. But we will head over there and see. Maybe there's some other problem that's worse, that's causing an even bigger disruption. And we can catch that. Or I don't know, maybe this half is fine. Yeah, 96% because of encased industrial beams. Everything else looks perfectly acceptable. Alright, well, that's that, I guess. And this is obviously full and just outputting everything over there. Alright, so that is the quick check on whether it's working properly, and it is. So now we need to figure out the resources that are being used. So, first off, limestone. It looks like all the limestone going in here is here. So that's 120, 240, 270 limestone. Alright. Limestone check. Next we need to do coal, of course, and it's going to go into a number of different places, and we're probably going to miss one, but that's fine. Alright, so this goes all the way over here, and then we have 480 on this belt, right? We've already discussed that. And then this belt is going to be less than that. It's going to be, looks like, 40, 80, 120, 40, 80, 120. So that's 240 up to there. And then, is that all that this is used for? Yes. So, we have 240 plus 480, just confirm, yep, 720 coal. And then there's going to be some elsewhere as well. Alright, so where is the rest of this coal going to go to? We have this box, which is going over here, and it's full, so that's probably fine. We'll have to check. If this is 480 output, then we're going to have to fix it. So this is those same things. This is 120, 240, 360, and then some weird number. So we don't need to get like exact decimals for this, we just have to make sure we have enough. So this is going to be 360 plus 30-ish. Let's round up to 40, so 400. So we'll call that 1120 coal. There we go. So, next up is probably... This limestone was the only place limestone goes, right? Or no, more goes up there. Alright, so we have to go up here and check where this limestone goes, and I think this is going to be the bulk of it. So these boxes are both full, which is good. And then each of these machines is 120. 360, 480, 600, 720, 840, 900. So that's another 900 limestone, so that's 1170 limestone total. Alright, so that is coal and limestone, and then this one is just coal, limestone, and iron, right? Those are the only three, and then water, but that doesn't count. Actually, this one might be one of the ones that is actually using water. No, we have pipes coming down from there. Alright, well, that's probably fine. So we just have to figure out... how much iron is being used here. It's going to be weird numbers. Okay. So again, we're just gonna well, we can round up to... How many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 12 like this, and then another 2 that are slightly lower. So, oh, this is actually a reasonable number, right? We're looking at ore, not ingots. So, 12 times 30 is like... 12 times 30 is 360. And then we have another 60-ish there, so that's going to be 420 iron. We mark that in. And then we have to make sure there are no other iron sources here, which there probably are, because this is like 2 factories in one still. So we are just going to trace the iron back, see where it comes from, all the way over here, and yes, there is a belt of iron going up. Alright, so that is full, that's fine. Then this iron goes into these, which is going to be more of the same. So 30, 60, yeah, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, but it's actually just another 12. And then the last 2 are like half. Right? So that's 30, that's like 13. Alright, so there's another 360 iron plus like another 30-ish there, so another 390 iron. So we mark that as, what, 720, 810-ish. And those are the 3 coal, iron, limestone. Yes, so heavy modular frames we have marked off. So now let's move over here to the crystal oscillators. And maybe I just have these signs here which will tell me. That would be handy. Alright, so I see 220 iron ore there. And a whole bunch of... Oh, that's for portable miners. This is something completely different. So we have copper, silica, 331 raw quartz. That's good. 331 raw quartz. Then we have all the rest of that stuff. We have 220 copper. Oh, I should format this like I'm doing the other one. So it's raw quartz, colon 331. And then we have copper and deuterium. So copper is 221. And deuterium is 188. Right? Yes, 188. Alright, and there's no iron here. Yep, I don't see any iron there. So that should be good. We're just going to verify. It's just deuterium, quartz. Oh, there's oil here as well that I had missed. Wait, no, this is definitely wrong. This is definitely wrong because this is like entirely different from... Why is there no copper here? Is this... Are these... Am I just dumb? These signs are for... Oh, these signs are for high-speed connectors. Obviously. Okay. So we're going to have to confirm these manually. So first of all, what we can actually do is we can fly up to the top where I created a very clever contraption for this factory. Please, let me get up. Are you kidding me? It won't let me get like 1 inch further up. Yeah, if I could fly like an inch higher... There we go. Now I'm on top. So I can check this to see if it's going at 100%. It is. See, it's supposed to be 10 per minute. 10 per minute on the belt. So that's good. Cyan, hello. We are currently... Oh. Currently falling to our death. That's annoying. You always run out of range of hover packs when you least expect it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to... I'm just going to drop down and climb my way back up. There's got to be a ladder around here somewhere, right? We're going through all of our old factories and making sure that they're actually working properly because it's been a while and I haven't quite... It's been a long time since I've checked most of them, so we're just going through to make sure that nothing is broken while I was away. And also, I don't know if we have the resources, so I'm taking a tally of all the resources we use for all of these. Actually, we can hover pack up. Is this faster than laddering? It's hard to tell. Apparently we don't have hover pack range most of these places anyways, so we're just going to have to climb the old-fashioned way. Alright, so up we go. And once we get to the top of this ladder, then we will be able to check and see if our factories are taking the resources we expect them to. So over to the crystal oscillator factory, which is where we were. Need to get inside and see if everything is going well. Alright, so we have deuterium, quartz, and oil. So, where are these raw resources coming in? So this is the deuterium. Working on space engineer stuff and supplies are short. That's fun. I think I played Space Engineer once, like a very, very long time ago. Very, very confusing working in 0G from what I remember. So how much deuterium is this? This is exactly 60. That's like kind of suspicious, right? For it to be so precise and even. But I guess, I mean, it's not going anywhere else. So we're going to add another 6 60. Actually, so these 3 are unverified numbers because they're from just signs that I checked. So I'm going to actually just overwrite them. And we'll have to check the high-speed connectors manually in a bit. Alright, so the quartz, 65-ish both. So we're just going to round that up to 130. And then we have our oil, which is just going in here. And that's like 20-ish. That's like 20-ish. So the oil is at 40. Is that really all for this entire factory? There's no other places for these materials to go to, right? Just gotta make sure that we aren't missing anything. That's where the oil comes up. Yeah, I guess that's that. Alright, in that case, we're just going to check the machines are good. 100%, pretty comfortably. Alright. So that's crystal oscillators checked, and no problems there. And I assume that the trains are just doing whatever and being fine about it. We might need to add buffers in. In fact, we probably do need to add buffers in. So what I mean by that is that instead of just having these go directly into the machines, we have them go into like a box or something. But the train stations have their own internal buffers, so like it's probably fine. I mean, it's showing 100%, so I don't want to mess with it. So I think we just leave it off there. Alright, so that is crystal oscillators. Next up, just need to find another random train station. See, is there one hiding behind this? Like on the other side of this giant building? I just missed it. Could have rode on that train and gone super fast. Oh well. Okay, so there is nothing but extraction stuff over there. So that's good. I'm just going to mark off work from one side of the factory to the other until we have all of the individual little things. What is that ladder doing there? Almost ran into it. Alright, so we've checked heavy modular frames already. So now we just have to work up this way. Alright, so then this is the next one, I guess, and that's just like iron rods or something ridiculous, right? That I just built to... It was the first thing I built to make sure that the train system was working at all. Yep, rods production. You can tell because the train station is named weirdly. But I assume that this is going to be fine, right? There's no realistic way that I mess up iron rods. Yeah, perfect, 100%. Cool. Obviously, it's all just going into the sink. Alright, and then as far as how much this is taking, it is going to be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. Alright, so we just gotta move that iron up a bit. And then we keep going. Alright. How have I gotten disoriented anyway? So we came from there. We hit that one. So I guess next we can head over and check these ones over here. I think these are some of the newer ones, actually. Alright, so we're over here. That is an input, so we don't need to worry about that. Probably bauxite. Alright, so we are just gonna hop over here. Okay, so this is high-speed connectors. So, first of all, is it working? So we hover all the way up to the top, and I can see some yellows already. So the answer is definitely not 100%. And although a lot of these machines are showing good numbers, so this row is 100%. Maybe this row is down. 100% across the board. Alright, I'm not sure how that works with machines with inputs that clearly aren't. But that's nice, at least. Alright, so these were the ones that I saw that weren't going fully. And you aren't getting enough silica. Alright, so where is the silica coming from? It's getting split along here. Taking a bit of a convoluted path. Gosh, what the heck is going on? Why is this so long? Oh. Oh, it's this thing. I remember this thing. This is one of the more ridiculous load balancers I've had to design. Alright, we're just gonna see if silica production is enough. And I am seeing a lot of 100%s. So that's good. I don't see... Oh, so these last couple aren't producing fully. Actually, like specifically this one for some reason isn't producing fully because it's all backed up. Alright, so the silica production is simultaneously all backed up and not sufficient, which means we have a balancing problem in one of the more complicated load balancers that I've done. So that's awful for me. So this is the other place the silica goes, and it goes directly up to here. And these are clearly all maxed out on silica. So the problem is then that the silica is being unevenly distributed, or incorrectly distributed rather. So we need 27.5, 27.5, 27.5. 0.5 times 3. So we need 82.5 silica here to these assemblers. And where exactly is the problem coming? Okay, I have that sign there. Oh, this sign is my math for the load balancing. Right, so that's not super important. Well, I might have to come back and check it to see what I was trying to do. Alright, so this says that this is 82.5. And what is it actually? So we get a sign on there. And it's showing 75, 72. Yeah, so this is showing in the 70s, not the 80s. Well, now it's getting up there. It's tough to say, but it might... It's at least going to be close, right? Because it's like 93% or something along those lines, so it's going to be somewhere around here. Alright, we'll leave that for the time being. Now, this belt is almost completely blocked. That's apparently intentional. I wish I had more signs to figure out what all of these numbers were supposed to be. But the long and short of it is that 82.5 of it is supposed to be coming here. And I have those signs over here, which I found that should be at least like approximately relevant to the numbers that I'm doing, right? I think these signs were for the copper load balancing, but it wound up being the same numbers. So we have 67.5 and 15 add up to 82.5. So we need to get 67.5. We get 67.5 by doing 33.75 times 2. And we get 33.75 times 2 by doing 101.25, that's our input, divided by 3. Alright, so we then need to figure out which of these two is not enough. Because that's stabilized at 79, obviously, not 82. So now we put throughput monitors on that belt and on that belt. And this should tell us which of these two isn't getting enough, which should help figure out what the problem is. So this is showing 15 pretty reliably. Yeah, I mean, it's showing 15 a minute pretty consistently. So that's going to be 15 a minute. This is showing 64, 63 a minute, not 67.5. So that's the so this belt is the problem. Now we have... Right, so this would be 101.25, hopefully. We can just get a sign on that to figure out if that is actually the case. 90, 95. Now it's slipping back down to 90s. I mean, this looks low. This looks low. So if this is low, that means that the problem is further back even of here, unless... So this... Okay, this belt was backlogged just now. Why does this all have to be occurring in such a cramped area, and also now I'm stuck underneath the belt? Let me out, please. Alright, so we have a regular old splitter here. Or a regular old merger, that is. And we're getting 94 out of it. So we're supposed to be getting 101 point something out of that. I'm fairly certain. Because this is dividing it into 3 batches of 33, and then taking 2 of those batches forwards. So this is the one that should be 67.5. Then the remaining 33 goes there into, I assume this is just the... So this is a smart splitter which is filling this, which is the 15 a minute line, and then the rest goes out that way. But of course, because this isn't actually 101.25, then we're getting problems. So, why is that not 101.25? We have, I mean, this looks like 60, right? 60-ish. Looks a lot like 60. That's a Mark II. Alright. This is very, very difficult to tell without being able to get above it. But we have our Mark III lift there going into the smart splitter, which prioritizes center and right is overflow. So then it prioritizes into this merger, which is going to send stuff through here. And it's so hard to see what on earth is going on. But I mean, this has got to be the problem, right? That this is taking too much. So how do we stop this from taking too much? And also, I don't know how much it's supposed to be taking. Alright, so let's figure out how much stuff is going through here in general. This looks like a full Mark III. And it doesn't look like it's... Oh, it's definitely not. There's the occasional pause. Is there just a problem downstream here? No, these are all good. So unless this is being split wrong, which it absolutely could be, unless this is being split wrong, it's fine. So that's 33, 66, 100, 151 point-ish something. Alright, so if that's 151 point something, then is there anything directly above this foundation? No, so we can tear this out to take a look at it. So that's going to be pretty much just mandatory at this point. Alright, so what do we have here? Ah, I've discovered the problem. That. So this is supposed to be a loop back, but it doesn't actually do that, which means too much is going out this way and not enough is going back. So that should be problem solved. And yeah, this is something that we simply couldn't realistically see from down here. Alright, so that should be resolved. Hopefully, I mean, it's probably going to take a bit for it to filter around, right? But this loop back is meaning that less of this silica is getting through this way, which means more of it is going to be sent off this way into this system. And this is already looking like it's up to 98, 100. Yeah, so that's problem solved. And good to go. So now we need to just figure out how much raw resources are going into this. So, Caterium. We have weird numbers. 23 point something each. Are these all exactly the same? Yes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yes. 23.438. times 8 is 187, so 188 Caterium. So that makes this 248. Then for the quartz, we go over here, and we have, what are these going to be? 20. Are these all 20? Yeah, probably. Just going to check randomly. There might be like a last one over here that isn't 20. Maybe these last two. Yeah, so these last two aren't 20, all the rest of them are. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Times 20 is 300 plus 30-ish. So we're going to call that 330 quartz. So this can go up to 460. So we've done Caterium, we've done quartz. Now we have this copper here, which we have to account for. And that's going to be like, hopefully all even as well. Yeah, this is looking pretty balanced. Oh, no, it's not. Those last two are less. The rest of the last four are less. Yes, the last four is smaller. The rest of these are speed balanced. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 15 is 180, plus these last four, which are like 10-ish. 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is going to be like 220-ish. So we're just going to do that. Copper, 220. Alright. We handled everything here. We've done Caterium, we've done quartz, we've done copper. And I think one of these is water, because I still used to do that back then. Yes. And this one might actually use the water? No, it does the smart thing. Good. Alright, so that is high-speed connectors. Check. All accounted for, and the bug was fixed. Next up, we go on to the automated control units, or adaptive control units? Actually, I don't know what the A actually stands for. I think it's adaptive. Alright, on to over here. And we just slide jump on over. Oh, actually, we're gonna run right past the aluminum when we do, so I guess we'll check in on this. So this is 480 bauxite. And some water. Bauxite, 480. And then there's also oil that goes into this system, so we're going to have to go up here. And how much oil? 24, 48. Okay, just 48, because those two are heavy oil residue. So that brings the oil total up to 88, which is still hardly any. And then past this is just going to be combinations of those things. And is this running at 100%? Looks good at a glance, but no. We have an 82%er there at the end. Is that the only one that's wrong? Yeah, so this one is not getting enough. Alright, so that is 100, that is 100. So this isn't outputting enough scrap. Other than that, everything is fine. So we can just... Let's see here. How does that work? So this smart splitter is right any left overflow. So that is filled up there. Which one of these was not getting it? It was this one here. Which comes back from here. Which is going to take some off of that, and then some off of that. Alright, so these two are getting 60 each, so that's good. And then, so if that's 60, then this is going to be 420, right? And then that's going to be another 60, so this should be... Oh wait, no, that's 120. Not 60, because there are two over there. So this is 360. This is 60. So this row is only 420. Is that correct? 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420. So the math checks out. The problem is... So this is clearly a full belt. No question about that. The problem is then that this is meant to be outputting 480 and it's not. So that's 300. These two are both outputting 100%. Oh, so that's weird. How do I fix that? So I think the problem is that, like, it comes out in batches. So while this is clogged, there's stuff waiting here, but this belt isn't long enough to store enough items to keep this flowing fully. So we see that every so often a gap comes in because part of that batch was going over that way. Okay, but I can fix that. I can fix that. So this is supposed to be 300. This is supposed to get 180. That is supposed to get the other 120. So instead of doing it this way, what I can do is I can limit that speed and then say left any right overflow. So now that'll get 120 and this will get all the rest. And that should fix it. I mean, this is clearly getting enough now, right? So is this a full belt? Are there any interruptions now? And there shouldn't be. I'm not seeing any. Yeah, so these two are now covering for each other, and so instead of this, when this backs up, instead of it just going over here where it's wasted, instead it just backs up into here and then will output to the right when there's need for it. Alright, so that is aluminum scrap done. Now with that solved, the all-clad sheets should be... All-clad sheets are looking perfectly acceptable. Somehow the slower aluminum ingot production didn't work its way around to them, although it probably did work its way around to this. Oh, I never powered on the sink. Okay. So we can get those going again. May as well. So that's just going to go over there. And aluminum production is all set. So now we just have to check how much copper this uses. So this is all the copper, right? Yep, just goes out of the train directly up here. So this is 13, 13, 13. So this is going to be another 40 copper. So we mark that up to 260. Alright, now we get to go do the big thing. So the adaptive control units, I see a lot of yellow. I see a lot of yellow, like most of the factory, it seems. That's not good. Alright, so this has a lack of steel pipes. I assume that that's going to be the primary issue with the final output. Yes. So we have practically no heavy modular frame production. Because of a lack of steel pipes. Reason we don't have steel pipes. Alright, we're also short on concrete for the encased industrial pipes. That's also a thing that's happening, but it's like marginally less urgent. So we're going to have to just track steel pipe production across. Okay, the encased industrial pipes have lots of steel pipes. Is it potentially a balancing thing? So this machine just goes to all of these and fills them up, but it looks saturated, so even if it were a balancing thing, it would have manifolded through by this point. God, modular frames need steel pipes too. Okay. So anyways, we need to find the belts where the steel pipes aren't to trace them back. So that is an empty steel pipe belt, or empty-ish. Right, so this traces around to here, comes back this way. So then this... Ooh, is that just a Mark 1 problem? That is just a Mark 1 problem, isn't it? Yeah, so if we just make that faster... And are there going to be similar problems elsewhere on this line? So that's Mark 2, that lift is Mark 2. Something below here, not Mark 2. No, and this one is fully saturated. Alright, so this is going a lot better now. So that was just a belt being half as fast as it needed to be. Not really an issue. Then I assume the rest of these are just going to be backlogged because the whole factory is stopped waiting for that. Alright, the encased industrial beam production. We have a big backlog, but we don't have sufficient production of it. So, concrete. Added onto the list of things that I need to figure out why it's missing. So which of these... So this is a belt that is empty of concrete. We need to trace back the correct ones. So that's this, and then it goes around here, and then through this splitter. And this is a whole giant load balancing system, which looks like it's the problem here is that this isn't getting enough, just eyeballing it. I mean, I don't know that that's the case, but I suspect I will find a concrete shortage further up, and this is apparently far enough away from any power signals that I can't get up. Okay, we're up. So this is meant to be 240. That doesn't look like 240. It's not really anywhere that I can put in to check. But it definitely doesn't look like 240 just eyeballing it. So let's trace this up. Yeah, so we can check here. Throughput monitor, is this 240? Alright, it's going through. It's not even remotely close. It's like half of that. Alright, so that is... I mean, it is ticking up, at least. But even like at its peaks there, it's only 210, and it's pretty frequently below that. Alright, so this belt does not have enough concrete on it. Yeah, this is a Mark III belt. It should be mostly saturated except for the occasional gap. Not 50-50 like it is here. So we just follow the concrete up. And we follow the concrete up. We go up here. So this is still definitely not 240. Those gaps are too big and too frequent. It should look something like this, but all the time, basically. And for some reason now it is. What the? Did I... Oh, I might have quantum physicsed this thing. It might have been calculating something wrong while I was too far away, and now that I've gotten close, it's fixed. That would be really annoying if that were the case, because I'm never going to be able to know for certain that that's what happened. Alright, so let's get up here. This is the concrete. It's showing 80%, but it isn't... Yeah, okay, so that is exactly what happened. So these are showing low percentage of production, despite the fact that they're obviously totally fine. Like, they have plenty of input space, plenty of output space, and it's just simply not functioning properly. I mean, both inputs are saturated, the output is empty. These are working at 100%. It just doesn't know it for whatever reason, which is incredibly irritating. But I guess it means that this problem isn't something that needs to be fixed, so that's nice. If I just sit around here... Actually, if I flicker those, then that'll get their calculations up faster. It's going to take a little to decide to start up, and then it'll go, and then it'll be 98% instead of 70-something%. And hopefully, like, it's possible that, like, the game's internal calculations is, like, using this number to figure out how much it should output. And then obviously that number isn't correct, because for whatever reason it just isn't. But just by doing that, now these are up to 90-some%, and we should be good to go. Alright, so these are showing yellow. Is that just because their output's saturated? Yeah, so that's not a concern. So a lot of this is going to be dead temporarily because it was all waiting on the steel pipes and the concrete, otherwise they would have produced too much. So now this should be fine. I don't know why it's still showing 98% instead of 100, but I'm not going to worry about it. It should be fine. So now we can drop down and check to see if the heavy modular frames are going. The belt was reasonably quick, so it shouldn't take too long for them to trickle through. See, that's not what we're looking for. The stators are all saturated. Maybe modular frames were lower down, I think, near the bottom. Yeah, they were these ones. Alright, so the steel pipe shortage seems to have been resolved. That's running at 90%. That's 84%. 98%. 95%. And 91%. Alright, so steel pipes are getting through now. And the concrete is probably still going to take a while to get all the way here, but it should get there pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean this looks much more like it. So now it just needs to trickle through the last little bit, and this should all be fine. Are these? Yeah, so these are also because there's no need to output anything at the moment. It's crazy how one singular bad belt can just like completely obliterate the entire thing. Alright, so now if we drop down here, are we sinking these yet? Or are they... No, still filling the box, but are just about done. Alright, so let's then do the resource count for this, and this is going to be probably the biggest... It's definitely the biggest single resource drain in the entire world. I don't know if it's going to be more than half of everything, but it's going to be a lot. Now, please say I do. I have signs doing the calcs. Alright, cool. So this... No, these signs don't have numbers on them. They're just saying which type of resource is supposed to go there. That's tragic. So now I'm going to have to actually do the math. Alright, so we start with limestone. Limestone goes over here and around this way. 120, 240, 360 limestone. It's not that bad. So that's... I can't do that in my head. I mean, I could, but it would be annoying. 1530. 1530 limestone. Alright, so next up we'll do coal. This is just all of the coal, right? It's all going over this way. And we have... I assume these are going to be batches 120, right? So that's 120, 240, 360, 480, plus another 40-ish, so 520-ish coal. So 1640 coal, approximately. These numbers aren't like, you know, they don't have to be precise down to the decimal like they would be within an internal factory. They're just to make sure that I'm not short on anything. I'd like to have significantly more than this of our raw resources for everything. Alright, so then this is the iron. And I imagine we'll have one or two weird numbers and then a bunch of normal ones. Yep. Alright, so we have... Why is this like this? I mean, it's fine. It's not going to break anything, but I don't know why I did it like that. So each of these belts is 60. So that's 60, 120, 180, 240, plus like another... Plus like basically another 60, so 300-ish iron there. And is that all the iron usage? Yes, it is. So another 300 makes that 1260 iron total. Alright, so next up we have the copper, which is... Let's see, is this split into 9? I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. 14.772 times 9 is 133-ish. So 260 becomes 394. May as well round up a little bit. Alright, so next up we have Caterium, which looks like it's 6 of them. 22.154 times 6. 22.154 times 6 is 133 Caterium. So that's going to be 381-ish. Approximate numbers are fine here. Next we go to the quartz, which looks like it's going to be 130-ish. So from 460 up to 590. Then we take the oil. So this is going to go over here, and we get 28, 28, 28. Why are these all this way? Why did I underclock all of these ever so slightly? I mean, it's probably fine, but I don't know why I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of these. So 14 times 28.17 is 395 oil. So 395 plus 88 is going to be, what, 475 plus 8 is going to be 483 or 482, I don't know. One of those two, doesn't really matter. That's oil accounted for. We've done quartz, we've done iron, we've done copper, we've done crude oil. I think that is it for this factory. Now let's just drop back down and check one last time. Oh, I almost just dropped too far. I clipped an edge that I didn't see. I almost died. But I didn't die, so we're just going to continue on like nothing happened. So we drop down here. And these are up to 100%. Love to see it. Alright, so that is that. What is next? Also, where are we? There's still a good couple other factories. Let's pull up the maps. So we have mostly resource extraction up there. We have a factory over there. I can see the modular engines. Oscillators check. HMF we've done. Oscillators we've done. High-speed connectors we've done. ACUs we've done. I think it's just... Okay, so we have automated miners, which shouldn't be a problem. And modular engines. Alright, so let's stop by the automated miners real quick. Where was that? Just sort of right over the middle of the map. Alright, so let's let's get over there. Just realized if we fly out over that area, we're going to run out of power. So let's just get up here so that we can get on this and then head west on the main road. Alright, so off we go, and we're just going to have to slide jump for a good bit until we make it there. So the automated miners shouldn't be much of anything. I think I did end up doing it mega scale, but I don't think that adds up to much because it's a pretty trivial thing. Alright, where is it? It's further, like, mostly past the resource hubs. So I'm going to keep on going. And we just keep slide jumping over there. And eventually we'll make it. So, let's see here. Rods production, we've done that one. Just making sure I haven't missed any of these factories in the center. I very easily could have. Sort of packed in here. I wonder if we'll have to add a second level to this at some point. If we run out of space. We shouldn't run out of space, but it is technically possible. If we run out of space on this floor, obviously, we just add another floor on and it's fine. So we happen to catch onto this freight car, which seems bugged. Seems like I'm... Okay, we have to get off here. That freight car seemed bugged, but whatever. Alright, automated miners, are you doing properly? %. It looks solid. Yes, that looks fine. So we just have to figure out how much it is. And obviously it's all filled up, and the extras are getting sunk. Alright, so we have the iron going into these smelters. 27.5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 27.5 times 8 is 220 iron. So that brings the iron up to 1480. And then that is just going to get split into all of these things, and then don't need to worry about all that. Alright, so I think we have one last factory to do. It's just this modular engine one, which is off in the distance. So we have to head over there. I can see it. Alright, we have to get at least enough of a running jump that we can coast over there. Yeah, apparently it's got pretty good range. So now we just have to slide jump over to the modular engine factory and see how many resources it uses. I think that was the one that, like, we set up to grab flexible frameworks or something from a surface level factory. So it should be relatively cheap. So we just have to make our way over there and see. Alright, slide jumping, continuing. Then we pivot. And we go over this way. And I see that looks like the entire thing is yellow, just off in the very corner of what I can see. You see what looks like a lot of yellow lights. That's good. I mean, that's why we're stopping by here, to check to make sure that that sort of thing gets resolved. The fact that literally everything is... No, wait, no. I see one machine that's green. That's unusual, to say the least. If everything were yellow, it would make sense. Alright, so you have no iron ingots. Fair enough. Yeah, it looks like the factory has just dead stopped because of a lack of water. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Is this... How's this get its water? Takes this pipe along over here. Okay, there is some stuff happening, which is a bit weird, honestly. Like, how is all this still going when it's not outputting into anything in particular? Alright, so where does the water come from? So that's the oil. And this is the water. Okay. So it looks like this is actively using the water train, which makes sense because I think I saw earlier that was happening. So if it's actively using the water train, that means the actual pumps down there aren't pumping, right? So this water then goes up there and should go over there, but wait. So these are getting water, or at least some, but don't have any empty canisters? What the... So where are all the empty canisters? I know for a fact that when I set this up, I put empty canisters. Why are there 70 empty canisters there? Alright, so it looks like all the empty canisters somehow got channeled into just one of the rows. Oh, because there's not enough water going through. Right, so there's not enough water going through, which means this isn't running at full capacity, which means it isn't outputting its empty canisters at full capacity. These two are, which means that any empty canisters that show up in them disappear instantly. So we'll just fix that. I mean, we can temporarily fix that by just throwing more canisters in. So obviously the more canisters, the harder it is for the system to get disrupted by things like that, just because, I mean, at some point there just won't be enough space in this row for empty canisters to fit. However, that does re-emphasize that water is the problem. And the reason this is still running is because it's the first thing along the line. Now this is showing 600 flow rate, which... Is this another quantum mechanics problem? I think it might be. I think the fact that I've showed up here might have fixed it. God, I really, really dislike it when stuff like that happens. So this water pipe has to go all the way around here. It has to fill up all of these, which it seems to be doing. And obviously it's going to take a bit. these don't use all that much water, just like 20 each. So it should be relatively quick to fill up past this. Assuming that it's going properly, of course. That's showing like 400 flow rate, which is probably enough. That's pretty steady too. Alright, well, I don't know how to solve these quantum physics problems aside from just showing up here and standing here and watching them fix themselves. But it would be really nice if it could all just figure it out by itself, and then I wouldn't have to do this. But at least it is fixing itself. So these are going to fill up with water, and then I think that's all that water gets used for. Oh, no, that isn't... There's also some water usage over here, probably. Yeah, so this should all be up and running now. Even the last machine is going to be filled with water. And up to 50. There we go. So now this is all good, and we can just let this set up. It's going to take the iron ingots a bit to trickle through. How much iron is this? It's a lot, but seemingly not the full thing. Actually, is that Mark 1 belt? No, that is Mark 2 belt. Good. There's some complicated splitting going on here, but it looks like everything has just about figured itself out. And if this continues being an issue like this, we might, we're gonna have to come back a little while later and see, because I feel like I've done this once before and that had the same thing happen. I might have to come up with some better system. Or wait, actually, I wonder if it's like... Because something in here was actively using the water from the water train, and that needs to stay full. Because I think if this fully empties out, then the head lift will disappear. And if the head lift all disappears, then that's what'll happen. Okay, so what I need to do is just real quick drop down here. And I really hope I land within range of a power pole. I do. Make absolutely certain that this pipe here isn't doing anything. Right, you have a valve. Your valve is set to 0. These machines are producing all the water. Yes, good. Okay, cool. So that should be fine. But then we're just going to have to deal with a mystery, because I know some factory somewhere is improperly using water from the water train when it's supposed to just be for head lift. And I need to find out which one that is. Okay, that's annoying. I should just set up a hypertube cannon. Blueprints. Hypertube cannon. Just pop you in somewhere. Doesn't really matter where, since we're going straight up. So the last support and tube comes out. And we just pop it back in. Set it to noodle mode. And rotate it to go straight up. Alright, up we go. And man, that is astonishingly perfect amount of velocity from that. Alright, so everything out here should be functional, in theory. We're just gonna get up here and check that everything is running. No, some of this isn't running. Because there's no need for the fuel. Because the rubber is backlogged. Why is the rubber backlogged? Plastic is also backlogged. Does this? Alright, so the rubber just does that. That's fine. So that rubber is going up there. This plastic is going into there. So this whole thing is just to get this rubber going, which is overfilled, so that's why all of that isn't working. When we get up here to the top, we have 0 motors. At least in those couple. Now some of these are starting to get motors. So we just have to, we just have to let things trickle through. And the problem is a lack of rotors, not a lack of stators. And that's probably not a splitting thing, it's probably just a things have just started like 5 seconds ago thing. Alright, there we go. I mean, all these look... I mean, they're all short on wire, obviously. But we just have to wait. Because the wire is coming from out here. And it should be up. Yeah, the wire is looking good. Assuming we don't have any, like, output problems. Which I don't see anything that looks too much like that. They really shouldn't be. It's only 17.5 output. So we're outputting enough wire, which means that it should all be functional. Alright, so now that I'm fairly certain this has all been repaired, or at least something resembling fixed, let's figure out where all the resources go. So are all of the irons this 34.4 number? Yes. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. 8 times 34.4 is 275. So that's 275 iron, and there's nowhere else that uses it, right? Yeah. So another 275 is, what, like 16... No, 1755-ish. Somewhere around there. And then we also have coal, which we need to be used. Alright, so these are the coal machines, and they are 33.3 each, so that's going to be 100 and 200, unless some of these are different numbers. Yeah, so that's 200 coal. And is that the only place that coal goes? Yes. So we add another 200 onto the coal. And then I think we have oil too, right? And that's the last thing. So that's like another 60 oil. So oil goes up to 550-ish. Let's just round up a teensy bit to make sure that nothing goes wrong there. And then all the rest of this is just going to be how it normally is. And It should be starting to turn on now. I mean, these machines have the outputs manifolded like this are going to be a bit wonky for a while because, like, these ones are handling all of the output. But it'll sort itself out. And yeah, not seeing any serious problems anywhere. Except, actually, I am seeing some problems here. Iron shortage has happened again. Because of a lack of water again. Of course. So this is conclusively not a quantum physics problem. There is actually an issue. And the issue is what? The train is still in the station, so nothing weird has happened there. I don't know why that first fluid freight platform is accessible and the rest of them aren't. Alright, well there's something mysterious going on here. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, the water. And, like, I don't understand what's causing it. I mean, the flow rate here is awful. It's literally, like, 0-ish. The flow rate here is fluttering around, like, the low, like, 10s, maybe up to 100s. Which is an incredibly bizarre number, because you would think that if it were a headlift issue that there just wouldn't be any flow, but there clearly is some. Like, there is some water that is getting to this pump, but for some reason not enough. This is so frustrating. Oh, I picked up a packaged water off of the belt. Sorry, you can have that back, I guess. Yeah, I do not understand why the water is like that. So now it's still hovering around this weird number, which doesn't make any sense for, like, any circumstances. Like, why is it this? If it were taking water from down there or from here, it would be much higher. It would be like the 600s-ish. If it were having trouble finding places to put the water, these would all be saturated, which they aren't. It is completely incomprehensible. And, like, it was temporarily fine, like, a moment ago. And now it's dropping down to, like, almost 0. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here. Fortunately, this is modular engines. It's not like it's anything important. Like, do we actually need these? Not really. I would like to solve this problem so that if it happens again in the future, I'll have figured out what caused it and I can prevent it then for whatever I'm doing there. But I'm not having any luck. Alright, now flow rate is back up to 600. So whatever the problem was, it has temporarily gone away. Which, honestly, you hate to see it. Like, how am I supposed to debug a problem when the problem just miraculously vanishes on its own, leaving no trace every so often, and then comes back for no apparent reason? Alright, flow rate of 600, and it's holding steady. So now this whole thing is going to fill up with water, and then everything is going to look like it's going normally, and then it's going to abruptly just stop for no obvious reason. Alright, maybe, here's a thought. What if wow, I just set that to Zoop mode, meaning this is my first time building foundations all stream. That's funny. Alright, what if I just grab me a, where are they? An industrial fluid buffer. I don't know if this will work or if this will make the problem worse. But we have an industrial fluid buffer. So that's a thing that exists now. So, my theory behind this is that if the water is flowing at 600 sometimes and effectively 0 some other times, maybe having water stored here will even it out. And actually, I don't want it to be connected like that. I actually want... What I want is to have it sort of in line with the pipe. So let's take it out and put it back in with rotated that way. So if I have it like that and like that, and then I say, I don't know, take that out so that it has to flow through the buffer. And then I think I might want a valve and a valve just to control the direction of flow. So, this should... I mean, I don't even know if... It's probably not going to help these machines back here, though, if I do it that way. If I do it over here, then those machines back there won't have, like, the benefit of it, but at least these machines will. I don't even know if that is going to help at all. Alright, flow rate across this valve is effectively 0 at the moment. So that's fun. What if I go over here? So this is doing whatever it's doing with not pumping fast enough. Alright. How do we fix this problem? The problem is that there is nothing wrong with what we're doing. Like, it should all work. These pipes are all full, right? Yes, that's not an issue. Maybe I had a thought. Maybe we move this pump down a little bit. So if you were there instead, I don't know, maybe it's like right on the edge of what the headlift can reach. And so maybe if I put the pump down there, then it'll have more of a head start and it can send it all up. Alright, so there we go. Now that is pumping water at a nice, reasonable 600 per minute. And that is going to be filling up a whole bunch of stuff, including, potentially, this fluid buffer. Yeah, so this fluid buffer is technically filling a little bit. It looks like this is taking a while now. Alright, let's head back and see how the water pumping is going over here. So that's like 400, which makes sense because we're taking off like 150 from that. So it's 600 here. Hopefully it can stay that for a while, and then we'll have solved whatever the problem is, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm very optimistic like that. So the fluid buffer is filling, and obviously it's going up and down a little bit. Meanwhile, all of these machines are doing their thing. And obviously the further ones are having more trouble with that than the closer ones. I wonder if I just make these load balanced. How many are there? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. It'll be fun and maybe helpful. Maybe just having them temporarily disconnected will help a little bit too. Alright, so we need a little bit of space there. And then what we need is to make these into groups of 2. Like that. Alright, so now these are in groups of 2. Now we convert them like that. Oh, and this whole thing has to be disconnected as well. And then we put junctions on. And connect those across. And then finally we put another junction on, and then these can just... Where's auto mode? There we go. So now these should receive their fluid more evenly instead of it all going to the first one. And that'll at least make the startup time be a little better and a little more regular. So now this is pumping along. And obviously these ones do have a head start anyways, because there's water in the pipes and water in the machines. But hopefully this will do something for these guys over here. Which, yeah, they look like they are all filling up pretty nicely now. So, if that is stable, then we may have solved the problem. So the fluid buffer is slowly draining. Because it's draining at max speed, basically. Technically somehow higher than max speed. Who knows how that works. And it's only filling at less than max speed for obvious reasons. But the draining at max speed shouldn't be forever. So obviously these are going to all fill up. And then the pipes get filled up, and then this should be stable. Now we should see this drain rate plummet pretty soon, because there simply isn't a need for 600 water out of this. There's only so much more pipe to fill. Yeah, so drain rate is now doing weird stuff. Weird stuff is being done. Alright. Fill rate somehow is up to 700, which means there's backflow going on. I wonder if that low drain rate is a problem. I mean, it all looks fine. Like, these pipes are all just about full. It's probably nothing to worry about. Alright. So eventually this should even out, and the constant black backflow should be... You'd think it would be mitigated by these valves more than it is. But it is working to an extent. And it has been a while since we've had a hiccup. So maybe... Alright, so maybe it was a fluid buffer. Probably it was just the... probably it was moving the pump down a little bit that helped. But whatever the situation, we seem to be functional again. And also, where are all of our canisters? We're all waiting on fuel. Alright, so yeah, we have a huge amount of packaged fuel, but we aren't doing anything with the fuel because this whole factory still has to start up again. Alright, well that's fine. It'll figure itself out as the rest of the stuff gets working. Have the modular engines even filled up? They even filled up the box. Like, how bad has their total lack of production been? Alright, they have filled up the box, and they are outputting to the sink. Alright, everything should be fine. Everything should be fine now. We also have this fluid buffer. So even if it somehow breaks, this should last for a while. Which, I don't know, I don't even know why I really care about this continuing, but it's just mostly a point of pride. Alright, well, I think we're done here, unless something dramatically shifts in the immediate future. Which, of course, is entirely possible because of the way this particular problem works. It is absolutely a thing that could happen that, like, maybe it breaks when the fluid buffer will get filled fully or something. That could be a thing that happens for all I know. But hopefully it just works. So I think we're going to leave this factory off for the day. Then, let's see here. Did we ever... I can't remember if we accounted for the resources going in here. 34.4 times 8. Yes, we did. We at least accounted for the iron. And probably the oil and coal as well. Yeah, I remember doing all this now. Alright, so if that's all that, then this factory should be dealt with. Just gonna make one last check. Pipeline still pumping water real fast. Alright, so that's that. And this factory is done, and I believe, if I open the map, I don't think I have any factories that I haven't checked. We did that one. We did that one. We did that one. We did those two. Alright, so now the only thing we have to do is we have to walk around to all of these resource outputs and make sure that they're outputting enough resource. Because we have all of these things that we've listed that are going into it, and we need to make sure that we are doing it, that we are producing enough. Otherwise, some of these factories are going to break for no apparent reason, and that would stink. So while we're up here in the northwest, we're going to head further west to the quartz. See how much quartz we have. We should be fine. We need 500. Well, probably not, actually. We need 590. That's probably a single belt. So we can upgrade it now that we have faster belts, to 780. And then that will be enough quartz. But I suspect that there's going to be 480 there. Actually, do I see two? If I see two belts going up there, then it's probably enough. I'm gonna upgrade it to max speed belts anyways, because that's the sort of thing that I'd like to be dealing with now, rather than, you know, on a day that's dedicated to that sort of task, rather than having to drop like in the middle of a factory to do it, or just never do it. Alright, so we are here at Northwest Quartz. And we have, yeah, looks like we have a 2-belt setup here. So let's just spam some upgrades and make this a Mark V setup. And the same thing for this one down here. Now, fortunately, just upgrading belts and eventually the miners should be all that we need to do here. Like, we shouldn't need to, like, mess with the... We shouldn't need to be placing more belts or anything like that. Alright, so the faster lifts go in as well. And then we drop down here. And we start placing the upgrades. And this is going to give us a lot of encased industrial beams that we don't need. So there we go. Then we drop down another level. Oh, I should swap to jetpack for this. We are not currently within range of power lines. Right. So we get that in. Then we go down there. And we just keep going down. A little bit more. Alright, we've used up all of our all-clad sheets. That was predictable. That was very predictable. Well, we're just going to have to keep going, though. There's not really anything for it. We just gotta... just have to do it. 6, 7, 8. Alright, so now we have enough for that. Alright, lifts are done. And I should grab another stack of fuel. I'm down to 11 of that. So now we have to get the belts. And that belt. And we're going to need to wait for all-clad sheets to come back. In the meantime, let's grab a Mercer Sphere that's apparently over this way. Hopefully it's not too difficult to find. Yep, nope, there it is. Just out in the open. Alright. Mercer Sphere, check.
Your waves could be bigger, your blood thicker, your bones many, your organs more.
Hello to you too.
Apparently there's a power slug this way. May as well grab that.
That is a welcome surprise. Do be careful not to overload my blood's extremely fragile organic systems. On that note, I have been working on making them redundant.
Oh boy, I can't wait to be redundant.
You truly are a far superior collaborator than humanity.
Alright, now we're up here. And there's just a blue power slug here. May as well grab it. Yoink. All clad sheets are up to 150. And there's no spheres or slugs of any kind nearby. Alright, let's head back to here and continue pushing these belts down. Shouldn't need much more. So these belts just all have to be Mark 5. And there you go. Alright, so now we just have these two, which go down underground. Alright, so now we head north, and we just have to find the entrance to that cave system, which is going to be quite a bit out of the way. Alright, so it's going to be down here. And this belt also comes from that same cave system, so let's just follow it. Let's go this way, and it should be in here. Alright, now we need to get through this tiny little entryway. There we go. Success. And now we just head along. Past the spooky spiders. Past even more spooky spiders. And let's see, there'll be quartz. Should be just up in this next main opening, maybe? If I remember correctly. Yes, there it is. Alright, so now we're here. I don't know if we're going to need to overclock them more, or just change the settings a little bit, or what. Yeah, so you can take more of that, so you're up to 600. And you are up to 600. Now we just have to get the conveyor belts going in to the lifts. And then we have to get this weird lift situation there. And then past that, it's all Mark 5 as it should be. Alright, so we see this is producing 600 a minute, but the amount in it is going down. That is how you know the whole belt system from start to finish is Mark 5. Because otherwise it would be going up if there were a Mark 4 bottleneck somewhere. Alright. So I'm going to write minus 1200 just to have in our notes how much quartz we have, and I'll probably move that to like a spreadsheet or something at some point. I want to be able to keep track of this stuff in the future. Alright, quartz production is fine, and realistically it should fill up totally pretty soon. Like, we should not have any problems with quartz production for a while. We're producing more than twice what we need, so even if there is some rounding error somewhere, it's not going to be an issue. Alright, so getting out is easier because the conveyor belt is going along with us instead of against us. And now we just need to get back up to the train network and then off to another stop to upgrade and verify its production rates. Alright, so off we go. The entrance to the train network is over there. So let's just fly on over. Gain height whenever possible, of course. And hopefully we can make this jump. It's going to be close, but we should be fine. Yeah. That lag spike messed me up a little bit, but not enough. Alright, so now we can just climb the ladder. And eventually we will make it up to the train network. We're gonna have to jump every so often because of the way I made this blueprint, which is not quite right. Alright, so up we climb. I think I must have at some point gone in with these ladders and filled in the empty spots in the blueprint, and that was just one that I missed. Alright, so quartz, we're all good. Limestone, I suspect if we're short on anything, it's going to be limestone. Iron is probably fine. Coal is another thing which we're very likely to be low on. Oil, I'm like 100% sure we're fine on oil. I think we have more than one full pipe of that stuff. Copper and bauxite, well, I know we're fine on bauxite. Copper is less than a full, somehow less than a full belt, which is fine, because we definitely have at least a full belt of copper ore at some point. Caterium is the same story. So we should be all good to go. Alright, so now we're up here. The next destination is going to be the Dune Desert, because there's like 4 things there. So we're going to have to head over there, and I do have a hypertube in the general vicinity of this for basically exactly that trip, which is convenient. Don't know why I have it there, but I do. I'm not going to complain. Alright, off we go. Alright, so this is oil, right? And, I mean, this is fine, right? It's definitely fine. How many pipes do we have? I'm just gonna eyeball it real quick. Absolute huge amount. I'm gonna assume that each of those are probably full, just because I don't like dragging more pipes than I need to. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pipes of oil. I don't know if that's right or not, but I'm also not gonna complain about it. So that is 550 minus like 3,000 question mark. Because I didn't check the machines directly. I don't know that it's 3,000, but it very well might be. Actually, wait, no. I only have 3 pipes here, right? So, oh, so this was one of the first times I did fluid tower stuff, so I think I have the pipe line goes up and then back down. Alright, so I think I have 3 full pipes. I'm pretty sure 2 of those pipes are dedicated to water towery stuff, which probably isn't necessary. But I'm going to call this 1800. Alright, so that is fine, and obviously it's oil. I'm already using Mark II pipes, so I can't upgrade it. So we're just going to move on to the Dune Desert. Unfortunately, that detour did mean we are no longer in hypertube, so we're just going to have to jump on over. So off we go. And of course, it is also possible that we have supply limitations anyways, even if all of the numbers check out, and that would just be because the trains themselves can't move enough supplies, which I doubt will be an issue just yet with these numbers. But it could be for coal, for example. Coal or iron or limestone are sort of the three big things that I use a lot of. And they might not be able to fill trains fast enough. I don't know if that's the case, though. We'll have to see. It's going to be hard to tell, too. What we would have to do is we would have to, like, check both sides and see that the output was empty even though the input was enough. And that's what knowing about all the numbers will help for. It'll narrow down those possibilities. So here we are at Dune Desert Iron. So first of all, we're going to upgrade this to Mark 5. And actually, I should have done this ages ago. Grab those into my inventory. Don't need all those encased industrial beams anymore. They are useless to me now. Alright, so we have what looks like one main belt that goes across all of them, and then 4 smaller belts that each go into just one. I don't know why I've done that, but sure, I guess. Alright, so let's start with the upgrades. Like that. And this doesn't... there's no chance that this ends up needing Mark 5s, but it's easier to just do everything than worry about it. Actually, I think there's a very real chance that the individual machines will be limited and not be able to go up to 780 or past 480. So let's drop down, take a tally of what the machines can handle, and then know what belts to upgrade based on that. Alright, so we're down here. And because some of these are going to be impure nodes, normal nodes, and that sort of thing. Alright, so that's 150. That's obviously the most it can do until I get Mark III miners, which aren't too far away, I don't think. Alright, so that's 150. And those two merge up, right? Yes, so that 150 merges up with this belt, which let's just go over here and see what it is. This is another 150. So, these two belts alone combine up here. So this is 300. So we're just going to put a sign on it. Can I put it there? And 300, and I'm going to set that to iron ore. And we're just going to copy those settings and then figure out the rest of them. Alright, so this just goes directly... Wait, did those... Am I crazy? Alright, no, I could have sworn I saw like a vertical splitter somewhere. So that's 480 there. So I can make that 600. And you are 600. Which means you're going to need to be upgraded. Which we will handle all at once. let's make sure that we keep grabbing more of those because we're going to need all of them for this. Alright, so then the next belt up is this one. This one goes back here. And we have at least one belt which is straight up dead ends. We'll deal with that in a moment. So this goes all the way along this way. Yeah, there sure is a lot of iron here. Why is this so far? And it just goes directly from this one? Is this another pure? It is. Alright, so you are up to 600, and I don't want to run all the way out here in the future, so we're gonna at least get the ground-based versions of this upgraded. Alright, so along it goes. And it keeps on going. This belt is very long. Okay, now there are some guys in the way. Please move. Hello? Do you want to move? Thank you. Alright, so along we go. And then we'll deal with the vertical parts of that in a moment. Let's grab more of those, and let's set this, take from the depot first, since our inventory is pretty light at the moment. And this one is... I have to get a sign on it. How is that even going to work? Alright. Can we just control C, control V? That is 600. Alright, next one over is this one. So we follow this along. Now I have this one, which turns this sharp corner. And along we go. It definitely seems like this is producing enough iron based on the fact that these belts are all stopped most of the time. It means that the train station is all filled up. Alright, so this just feeds directly from this, which is 300. Alright, so that's fine then. We have like two 300s that we can combine up into a 600. That will help a little bit. Alright, so we follow the belt back. It is a Mark II miner. Yep, I only use Mark II miners for all of this. Alright, so this is 300. Let's just paste that and then change the number. Alright, so that's in. Then we have, this is the last one, which actually goes up. So we follow it back. And off we go. That just goes directly to this, which can go up to 600. Oh, and then we need to upgrade the belts. That's obviously important. Alright, so all these go in. And there we go, and then we can put the sign in like that. And paste, so that is 600. Alright. So all told, this is a lot of iron, and there's still more that we can get. The lifts are currently Mark IVs. I'm in the process of upgrading them. I'm just upgrading all these ground-based belts first. So we have this belt, which I never bothered to connect up to anything. So let's run back. Is this... It's going to be... Yeah, so this is just another 300. So we should be able to get all of this up now with our faster belts pretty conveniently. So we can just combine a couple of these 300s up into 600s and not have any problems. We obviously couldn't do that back when we only had Mark IVs. Oh, so this is only 300, so it can be a Mark IV. Let's just save some metal-clad sheets, because we're about to use like a billion of them, so we may as well save them while we can. Alright, so this comes over here, and then we need to find, this is one of the 300s, right? Yes. Alright, so we take that 300, and we just take that belt, put it in that side, then we put that in there, and now this is 600. Alright, so that's 600, needs to be upgraded, that 600 needs to be upgraded, that 600 needs to be upgraded. This one is only 300, and this last one is 600. Alright, so we can take this 300 and we can split it in two. So, I mean, do we even need to do that? Not really. It doesn't really help us any. The belt is already there. All the rest of the resources are already on belts. Yeah, we're not going to do anything funny with that. Alright, so all the all-clad sheets in our inventory that we can possibly get. And then need to upgrade, gosh, what is this? All but the second to the left. Right, that's a bit confusing. And I think it is going to be easier to do that from the top down. So let's make a hypertube cannon, because we're probably going to be doing a bit of up and down. Just getting all this set up. Get a bit of space, and there's the blueprint. Yeah, that can go in there, I guess. It's a bit far over to the side, but whatever. Then we just need to change the output to go straight up. Considering how often I use them for this, I should just make a dedicated blueprint for hypertube cannons that go straight up. Save me a little bit of time. But this should be fine. Up we go. Ah. Okay, so we've overshot a bit. That's fine. We're just going to drop back down, and then this one there is the only one that doesn't need to be upgraded. So let's get the rest of them. So that one, that one, that one, and that one. And let's make sure we have these belts. I did this one already. I didn't do these ones. Oh, I upgraded one that doesn't need to be. That's fine. We're going to de-upgrade that, just because the all-clad sheets might be a bit of an issue here. Although we do have a lot of them in our inventory, so it'll probably be fine. Alright, so that... We already did that one because it's not set up the same way. We have that one. And then we have that one. Alright, so now we just drop it down. And we do the upgrades. And we get those. And we just keep going down until these are all upgraded. Oh, how did I miss? Did I miss that one? Yes. Somehow I missed the one I was standing on. Alright, so then we get all of those. And we continue dropping down. Oh, that is rotated for some reason. It almost just fell. Oh, it's rotated to stay out of the way of that. That makes sense. Alright. So that is... Oh, yeah. So that's the one that I'm ignoring because it doesn't need to be upgraded. Good. Just gotta make sure that you don't make a mistake here. Otherwise, you're literally never going to notice that something is wrong. Oh, I think I just got the wrong one. That's fine. All clad sheets shouldn't... We should be close to fine, at least. Alright, so then we're down here. We upgrade that one, and that one, and that one. And we get that one. And we keep going down. And we get that one. That one, that one, skip one and get that one. And then we go down a bit further and we're almost there. Get there, 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 and there. And I think that's it, right? We've done the bases already. Alright, I believe that is everything sorted here. Now, how much iron is this in total? We have 600, 1200, 800... No, that's not how math works. 600, 1200, 1800, 2100, 2700 iron, which is 1000 spare. Good, I thought that would be the case. Good to confirm. And now up we go. I overshot again. If I had swapped to hover pack, I could have activated it at the right level to stop going up. And that would have saved some time. But I didn't think of it. Alright. So that's that. Now we just need to get all that stuff out of my inventory. Alright. Iron upgrades, check. Next up, the limestone. There's no way we have enough limestone. There's absolutely no way, at least not there. We have other limestone sources though, so maybe one of those will have the rest of it. Alright, so off we go. And we go around this way to get to the limestone source. And this is like half of the limestone. There's another limestone source on the literal exact opposite side of the map that I'm using. So I'm not expecting this to handle all the limestone, but hopefully it'll get a good amount. And then there's also the coal over there. Alright, so now we're here. And we just need to see how much this is. Alright, so this looks like it is a single belt. Or two. It looks like it's two belts with one of them going directly into the front one for some reason. Why did I design this like this? This is horrible. It's not a huge problem, I guess. So this is going to be two Mark IV belts, probably. Today, factory growing? Yeah, so today we are basically going through all of the parts of the factory that have just been sort of like left to rust and making sure that like all the stuff that I haven't touched in ages is functional still. And we're making a lot of fixes, a couple upgrades with faster belts and such. Alright. Now I'm going to assume that these are probably fully saturated belts, and I'm going to upgrade them on my way down just to save some time going up. Why is there a power pole halfway up this belt? That's horrifying. When did I build the floating island? Yeah, my entire factory is just up there. Like, that's just how it works. It's way more convenient than having to deal with terrain all the time, although I am severely regretting making it quite as high as I did. It definitely could be half as far up and not have any problems. But I basically built it off of the highest point in the map, so there's that big mountain in the northwest. I just built a foundation off of that and expanded it all the way across the entire map. Alright, we almost made it all the way down, and then we ran out of all-clad sheets. So we're going to just figure out how much is actually here. Do upgrades if necessary. Tips for neatness on the conveyor belts? No, I know how to make neat conveyor belts. I just don't always bother, you know? Like, for stuff like this, it's just easier to just do it quick and dirty. In my factories proper, I tend to be somewhat neater than this. Alright, so this somehow just didn't even get upgraded to 150. I don't know why that happened. Alright, so that upgrade goes through. Yeah. The infinite length vertical conveyor. I know that that's a thing. I tried to do it once and I think I did it wrong, and like it's not that important to me, so I never quite got around to it. Alright, so let's see. That is 150. This is probably also 150. Yep. Alright, so those two are 300 total. Then this. So how is there just a Mercer sphere just in plain sight? How do I keep missing these things? It requires you to stand still while placing it. That does seem annoying. Yeah, I'm fine with just the weird stuttery things like I have.
I have something
Provides
for
nice
you.
places to land
It will
halfway up
establish a
anyways.
better way for us to communicate and deepen our understanding
Alright,
of
so
one
that is
another.
now
I've
300.
done the necessary developments on my end. The last note is yours to play.
Your symphony resonates. Your minute tapestry patterns beautifully.
Thank you. I worked very hard. I am organically transmitting the data package now. Any adverse effects
Alright,
on
guess I'll
my
grab this
blood will
slug
not
too.
corrupt its contents.
I frequently don't bother grabbing slugs, but I guess I
See you
might
on
as
the
well.
other side.
Alright, so we
It's
have...
time to tango.
Yeah. They tend to somehow be like weirdly sneaky when you're not looking for them. Alright, so that's 300, that's 150, so that would be 450, plus another 150. So yeah, this is gonna be 600, so that can get the upgrades. And that can just go up there. And then some point, like halfway up, there might be a Mark IV belt. Do you know how train signals work? Yeah, my entire factory is like very heavily reliant on trains. What are you doing that is throwing errors so that I can help you with that? Alright, is this just gonna be like a pure node of limestone or something? Yes, it is. Alright, so you can go up to 600. And this can come along. Alright. Oh, the lag spike sending you flying is like one of the funniest things in the game. Yeah, so block signals feed back into themselves. Alright, so what's happening there... is that only happening at intersections, or is it happening just anywhere? Because if it's happening at intersections, you might just need to move the block signals back a little bit. If it's happening anywhere, then there's probably some loops that you're not aware of. Alright, what is... why does that go sideways? Yeah, so basically what happens a lot of times is that if you place a signal exactly at an intersection, it gets very confused and doesn't like it. So if you just push it back away from the intersection just a little bit, that normally works. Alright, let's see. Did we get all of those? Looks like it. Alright, we need to climb up a little bit more. And it looks like we got everything. It's hard to tell. We're gonna have to... Did I make a hypertube cannon here? No, I'm just gonna climb. I'm just gonna climb. It's not happening at the train station. Yeah, so that normally doesn't happen at train stations because they're pretty... Train stations are pretty convenient as long as you just don't use pass signals into them. It's all fine. But it's the intersections that are the problem. Alright, so we're just gonna climb up the ladder. And then once we make it all the way up to the top, we're gonna have to figure out if we missed any of the lifts, but I don't think we did. I think we got all of them. Alright. So we are up just about. And this is going to be easier to do with hover pack. So we can just get up here. Yeah, so like this is an example of an intersection, right? So you'll notice the track branches here, but I've moved the signals back from where the branches are, and that's just because sometimes it causes problems. And like this little thing there is where it like officially starts. I always like to have the signals just a little bit further back from that. So yeah, I hope that helped. The block signals kept clipping it to backward. Yeah, so it does really want it to like snap directly onto this. Normally, you just sort of have to fight it a little bit. It's a bit of an annoying bug, but whatever. Just something you gotta know. And hopefully that is the problem. There are also other things that can cause it to think it's looping into itself, but that's like the main one for me, at least. Yeah, getting it to go in the wrong direction is also a thing that happens a lot. Unfortunately, that's another thing that you just sort of have to fiddle with and get it to work. The train signals are a bit wonky in the game, unfortunately, and that's just how it is. Like they work well if you can place them right, but getting them to be placed right is a bit of a pain. Alright, So, coal. Oh, the limestone, by the way, I need to mark down that. That is minus 1,200, right? Because we had two 600s. So there's not enough limestone here, but there is limestone at the other place. Yeah, the hover pack is wonderful. Like, it's so great. Especially because train lines carry power with them. It's incredibly convenient. It's also just convenient for, like, getting yourself out of weird spots, like when you're directly under a foundation or something. It's hard to get the jetpack around, but the hover pack can do it easily. Alright, so we upgrade. And, I mean, it's not gonna need fast belts this far back. I guess I may as well put them in. Not gonna hurt anything, at least, except for my supplies of all-clad sheets, which hopefully aren't gonna be running short anytime soon. Alright, so this is all set up. Now we need to get all of these. So these go along here. And then it's on to upgrading the lifts. Alright, so down they go. How much sheets are you making per minute? Gosh, so there's an easy way to check. Where's the... Wait, what's the... How did I just forget the button for this? So, the way I'm making this entire save is that I make 10 times... I make 10 full machines. So, I'm making 300 all-clad sheets per minute. Which is quite excessive, but it also means I don't really have to worry about anything other than dimensional storage output. So yeah, I'm never gonna run out of all-clad sheets. The dimensional storage is slower than my production. It's not excessive. It's a normal amount. Yeah, I mean, so the thing is that, like, I'm not going to be using those all-clad sheets for other factories, though, is what makes it excessive. Like, that 300 a minute is just for my, like, personal usage. Mm-hmm. Alright, so these can go down. And keep going. Alright, Dimensional Depot is once again being a bit slow. Alright, so let's just upgrade those. That's 600. And that is 600. And yeah, so we're getting 1,200 coal. I don't know if I have another coal output. This might be... I might need to find some coal elsewhere. Obviously we need to do the last couple upgrades of these. There we go. And then this one, once this gets up to 48. Dimensional Depot. Actually, how many? I have 12 Mercer Spheres. There's one nearby. I guess I'll go grab that while I wait. I still need to do, like, I think there's still a speed upgrade that I need to have. Alright. Oh, this is gonna be an underground one, isn't it? Yeah, there's gonna be a cave around here or something. It's not just like in this side of that. Alright, where is it? Is the cave just down here? Yes. Alright, that's just a regular power slug, don't really care about that. Blow that up. run through, and Mercer Sphere is here. Alright, there we go. And is there anything else interesting in here? It's not a summer sloop or anything. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright, that should have bought us enough time that we should have plenty of all-clad sheets now. Alright, then where were we? Over here? Yep, so just head over this way and upgrade those train lines, and then we should be good. Alright, so that gets upgraded. None of that needs upgrades. Okay, I almost missed that. This one needs faster belts. Alright, I think this is all good. Alright, so that is coal done. And it's going to be 1,200 of that. Alright, so I still need to figure out the rest of the stuff, but we're getting close to the end of my normal stream time, so I think probably I'm going to call it here. The rest of this stuff, the copper and the bauxite and the caterium, are not going to be interesting. We're not short on any of those. So I think I might just do those off stream at some point. But yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a lot of fun. I will be streaming Factorio tomorrow from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. And I'll be back here on Satisfactory on, what day is it? Is it Wednesday? Yeah. So I'll be back playing Satisfactory on Friday, 2 to 5 Eastern Time. I stream Factory games every weekday during that time. So if you haven't already, make sure to follow so that you can catch when I'm streaming in the future. And that's about it. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!